you?
Thanks for visiting.
Oh, it's a great pleasure.
Amazing,
Even though
amazing.
you've brought me in on a horrible day, it is lovely to be here.
It's wonderful. We made it warm inside. There's a fire.
Roaring
There's
fire.
wine.
I am so excited to be back. I haven't been to the new home of Backsberg, but Backsberg for me, as you well know, is so important because it was at Backsberg on the 19th of November 2011 when my wife was foolish enough to walk down the aisle and say I do. And so this really is one of my very, very favourite names in wine.
I'm going to show you the barrels where you danced.
Ah,
It's in this winery.
that
We
was a
bought it
beautiful
over.
moment. We danced
It's
in
just-
the cellar.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
it was
right
a
in my
magical
cellar.
moment, and it's remained magical for me. It's been downhill for her ever since. Oh, look, it is beautiful out here. Normally there'd be a mountain up there, wouldn't there?
There's a mountain.
You've taken it down. for
Beautiful
repairs.
mountain. Yes, yes.
All right. I know there's a fire inside. I know there's wine inside. So let's head in
Yes.
and go and warm up. Surrounded by history. I'm looking at all these artifacts. I know it's a new home, newish home, but so many throwbacks to the Backsberg history and the Backsberg heritage.
Yes, everything came from the old farm. Everything was shifted over and into the new house. This is a old press that was actually in use.
Very old press.
Yeah.
That was probably Sydney back days.
Before even, probably,
Even before.
yes.
1300s.
There's an old scale there behind you. You weighed the grapes bunches, baskets with.
It looks like a medieval torture tool, doesn't it? I've got a few of those this week. That's brilliant. And then right at the end, really cool. I can't wait to bring my kids here. You've got a full-on tractor.
Correct. We almost built. You see, we put the tractor down first, and then we built the tasting room around this tractor.
Does this still work? Is this still drivable?
We drove it here with difficulty, but it's not. You can't plow with it, but it does have an engine in, and it can move.
And what I like about the positioning is that it is watched over by one of the great figures of South African wine, because Sydney back, not just for Backsberg, but for South Africa, did so much for our industry.
Yeah, he was definitely a legend for the wine industry. Now the brand, now we did redo the brand, is mostly around stories and Sydney's investment in the wine industry.
And we went over a little earlier to the cellar, and you basically, I've packed up house enough times, that's tough enough. You packed up an entire wine estate and moved it across to Franc.
Yes, tanks, presses, wine, barrels.
The whole lot.
The tasting room came over. We bought a lot of the wooden fixtures and fittings inside came over. Old photos, family photos, and here's a whole display of all the original old labels of Backsberg.
It's so cool that you have preserved all of that, and I guess for you it's a reminder of the heritage of Backsberg, but also a reminder of the responsibility you have, because you are now the custodian of what is a very established and much loved South African brand.
Yeah, it's a centenary brand. I love saying that. And not long ago we went to the first 14 wine estates in the country that was certified. And Backsberg was one of them, and they showed the scrolls and the names of how it happened. It was amazing. I still have the very first bottle of little Sava seal that was on a wine bottle, on a 1973 wine bottle of Backsberg.
Oh, that is extraordinary. I know there's a lot of history, and in fact some of it's captured, so let's go and have a look at that and we can tell some more of these fabulous stories. I've seen the new logo, and I'm now seeing what looks like it's inspiration, is that right?
Correct. So on our very original labels, you'll often see these two ladies with the sun, bunches on their head, and that is the inspiration of our new logo right there. So it also came from history, but it's actually got a very modern look now.
It does, but it clearly throws back, and I'm so glad that you've held on to that and you've really taken the roots of Backsberg and embodied them in what is this new journey. So this is the start of the journey. This Lithuanian immigrant, this refugee, finds his way to Cape Town at the turn of the century, first becomes a butcher, and then 1916, a land we now know as Babylon's Turin, acquires that land, and the Backsberg journey begins.
Correct. Old story.
And it was very much a family story, because it was Charles initially, but it was then Sidney Back, he was this visionary when it came to South African wine, and I think he saw potential that a lot of people didn't.
Yes, so the original farm was a fruit farm. It wasn't intended as a wine farm, but Sydney really made it into a wine farm. So the first Sauvignon Blanc that was planted on hillside in the country was planted by Sidney Back. Before that, everybody was cultivating fruit like fruit. They planted it on flat surface. And many firsts for Sydney.
And things that now seem both so obvious but also so simple that just hadn't been done before.
No, I think, true.
I'm looking at some of these other great moments. There were some of the early awards. There was the introduction of new vines. And then there was one of the coolest stories in South African wine, where this quartet, these musketeers of a sort, decided to do something they were not supposed to do. And if it wasn't for Sidney Back, along with Jan Boland Coetzee and Frans Malan and Dani de Wet, we wouldn't have had Chardonnay in South Africa. Correct.
I bought Chardonnay in 1985. There was 15 maiden vintages of Chardonnay, and Backsberg was one of them, along with the other gentlemen. So they all bought in the Chardonnay together as a group.
And this was smuggled in, wasn't it?
They were called the Chardonnay Club, if I understand right. They smuggled it in, yes. Yeah. Whether it was in boots or suitcases, this is still debatable.
I've heard nappies, I've heard chocolate boxes. It's one of those wonderfully mystical stories.
Wonderful. I'm sure it was in the cases. I can't see anybody carry something like that in a boat.
But it's a kind of story that if carte blanche existed in its day, they would have been all over it. As these four guys who've smuggled in their wine. And then Backsberg really does not just pick up steam, but also enters an era, particularly through Michael, of making sure that we don't just make wine that tastes good, but we make wine that's produced in the right way, and developments like being carbon neutral and understanding that as we take out, so we must give back when it comes to the farming of the grapes we use.
Yeah, in 2006, we were the first winery ever in South Africa, and I think at that stage there was only 2 in the world to become carbon neutral. So it was a very, very foreign concept. I would never forget when Michael first, he was traveling somewhere and he came back and he made us all watch these environmental movies in that store where you got married. And then he put the lights off and we had to watch movies. But for almost 2 years, we were not allowed to put the lights on if it wasn't necessary. So that was like we were trying to gauge when do we need lights now, but it was just so dark. It was funny. That's what I remember very well. And then we got on the journey and we started calculating, and I went to do some courses as well. I found it very interesting, and I'm still very invested in it. It's lovely.
Now you're in this new journey. We sit in this new home, and together with DGB, my good friend Tim Hutchinson, coming on board, bringing Backsberg into the DGB family. You've moved to this new space, and it's a beautiful one. And I think it's really exciting because you have this whole new canvas with which to work.
Yeah, I'd say we call it now the 5th generation. So I feel we are properly in the 5th generation now. The brand definitely got a new breath of energy. Lots of new eyes on it, new perspective, and yes, it's definitely exciting.
So Alicia, we've got the history, and you are, as we've said, the custodian now of this brand that's got so much of a story behind it. How does that then influence how you make your wine today? How much does the wine that's come before speak to what you now offer us with your vintages here?
Currently, we now have a much more interesting portfolio of vineyards to work from. It took me a while, it took me a year or two to discover my new vineyards, but now We have them. In front of us, we're going to taste today the Chardonnay that comes from one of the most amazing vineyards in Franc Valley. It's one of the highest elevated vineyards. So this vineyard's very special to me. And then we have Cabernet that comes from Stellenbosch. And we have Cabernet Franc that also comes from the Helderberg. So I've had time to really go see which vineyards is going to work into the brand. Instead of, I miss the old property. So the interesting thing that few people realize when you work on one estate, you have to grow everything around you, which is very special because I can go and walk there in the evening and look when they ripe. Now the vineyards is a little bit more scattered, but we do get to choose really the exact spot for what we're trying to make.
And that now gives us the wine that we are about to sample. And not just is it a great vineyard the Chardonnay comes from, but the name is so cool. It speaks to what we chatted about earlier, this Chardonnay club, and the history behind not just Backsberg, but behind all the great acts of misbehavior in South African wine history.
Yeah, so this is our smuggled wine Chardonnay. Cool it?
So tell me about this Chardonnay, about this vineyard. What is it that makes it so special, that makes you so excited about it?
First of all, I believe Franschhoek is the capital for growing Chardonnay in the country. I absolutely believe it's the best place to grow Chardonnay. And then on these hills, when you come into the town, on the left, I'm going to say left bank of Franschhoek, we have this strip of grey wax soil, which is incredibly unique in South Africa. You actually get a lot of the soil in New Zealand, but in South Africa, it's quite rare. And this whole strip of mountain have this soil. You walk through the vineyard and you see it glitters and the minerals, and it's beautiful. And this vineyard is planted 450 meters above sea level, which is high for Chardonnay. And it's also it's a cool site. So even when Franschhoek doesn't get as hot as Paul, but when it's warm, if you go into that vineyard, it's always got mist over it. It's got a wind going through it. It's a very when I put samples of Chardonnay next to each other, it just stands out. It's fruity. It's got a taste that the others don't have.
Just gives it an elevation.
It's smart. It's consistently smart.
It is a delight, and it is a delight that is going to be coupled with some lunch, because you have the grazer's platter that is on offer here. There's a terrific selection. I'm not sure how to start normally, but I will start with your guidance for this Chardonnay. What's going to bring the best out of it from our platter?
I would definitely now pick out this little one that have some of the pear. This wine does have a lot of, and there's a lot of citrus. So the citrus, the pear, and then that salmon. That salmon's going to work lovely as well. But citrusy, I get a lot of pear in this wine, and I love the way it works with the pear, yes. And this wine works incredibly well with shellfish, salmon. It's a crispy Chardonnay.
That dried fruit is really cool with that. All right, let me try it. Salmon on its own or salmon with some bread?
On this little triangle.
All right. Sounds like a good combination. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Ha-ha. All right. Technique, a little wine, food, a little wine again.
I like to tell people to taste the wine first, and just see what it tastes like on a clean palate.
All right.
And then you have your bite to eat, because everything you eat is going to change what you taste afterwards. Also, I don't think a lot of people realize that, but that depends on what you eat. It's going to make So if you eat something now too sweet or too sour, the wine all of a sudden goes wrong.
Obviously the flavour here is key, but the texture of salmon, and smoked as it is so distinctive.
Creamy, salty, and it definitely complements the wine. So if food and wine works, then they work well. But if they...
If I were a salmon, I would hope that I would say goodbye to the world by becoming a partner to a glass of Chardonnay like this. I think that's a wonderful way to go.
Dying in Dan's stomach.
The Salmon's family can be very happy with where their progeny has ended up. All right, that's a really cool start. What's wine number 2 on our list today?
Okay, now I've got the Cabernet Sauvignon. We call it the 4 pillars Cabernet. You'll notice we have different labels there. So this is our 5th generation, the colorful range. And this is available in supermarkets everywhere. So this is the Cabernet from the 5th generation, 4 pillars, and this comes from a vineyard in Stellenbosch. Also made in a very classical, I like making very classical wine. I like that people know if they buy a bottle of Backsberg, it's going to taste like Cab. It's not going to it's very cultivar typical. And then method is like 12 to 18 months in oak, French oak. Very much made in the traditional old French style.
And it's 3 years old, so there is a little age on it, but it is a very soft and elegant end result.
For Backsberg, drinkability is totally at the top of the list.
Well, it definitely ticks the drinkability list. Let's see if it ticks the drink and food box. What are we going with here?
Okay, so I would say now strawberries.
Oh, okay.
And then you can go into, what is this one? No, not this one. This beef, like a beef thing with a bread. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, we're
I don't want to hand it to you with mine, but I would have this little beef and then on that broodjie with the strawberry.
Oh, the strawberry does work really nicely. Just so you know, we're not supposed to talk about this sort of thing on the show, but this was the 3rd take we've done because she smashed the first 2 platters while we were setting up. And I can see why. All right, let's try the beef.
I had to see what works.
There is a timeless simplicity to a piece of bread, a bit of cold meat or cheese, and a glass of wine. It is nothing complicated, but it just never ever disappoints.
It's like that wine. When I went to France the first time, I saw on the train people pack out their lunch and they had a baguette and wine, and that's that
It's
type of
wonderfully
wine.
civilized. Not grabbing a sandwich at a petrol station and wolfing it down as you dash from meeting to meeting. The French do a lot of things right. How to live is definitely high on that list. And that did work really well. The strawberry punched out the fruit so nicely with that beef. It is that savoury cornerstone of great Cabernet Sauvignon that echoes delightfully. All right, 2 down, and then to a relatively new addition, I think, to the Backsberg.
This one was added when we brought the brand over 4 years ago. So this is the 2023. This is the 3rd vintage we've bottled of our Cabernet Franc. Which is a great challenging wine to make.
But one that is enjoying probably its greatest time ever in South Africa.
We also just received a 97 on that big international show, so it did incredibly well.
I know if we'd been sitting here a decade ago, we wouldn't have been talking about a single varietal Cabernet Franc because it was very rarely done. And now it's something that a lot more people are understanding the power of, the delight of, and what they can get out of it.
Yeah, it's a very, very challenging grape to grow. And we're learning. I mean, viticulture came a long way in the last 20 years. And we're definitely learning how to grow this grape. But what is so very different of this wine than the previous one is that it has this hint of herbaceousness and freshness, and you can actually use this wine to pair with very interesting foods like green Thai curries and things that you would usually struggle to get a red wine to pair with. So
I'm going to try that out. I can see that working really, really well. Yeah. We don't have a Thai green curry here today.
What we do have here, I just saw now, is this basil. this pesto, I would say.
With bread or with the remainder of my...
this little thing,
Oh, okay.
it's like a bruschetta.
Crostini.
And then we have this pink, more pinker type of a meat.
Do I have these together or separately?
No, you can put that meat on top of your...
Oh, we are getting bold and adventurous. And I think what most people don't realise is that you've made all of this yourself. Very creative and talented. Okay, reminder of that, so delightfully distinctive.
It's got this vibrancy in it. I would say it's such a teenage wine. It's just exciting.
Oh, that is so good. That pesto is beautiful. I often buy pesto and I take it home with the plan that I'm going to make it into a pasta or do something with it. It never lasts that long because I cut a slice of bread and the whole thing's gone. And then I have to throw away the jar and tell my wife I forgot to buy it. All right, let's see how the wine comes into play straight after. Inspired yet again, Alicia. Oh, that's a terrific combination. And it is just so much fun. And I think my memories, obviously, of Backsberg are so rich and vivid. My wedding day, my family, my closest friends being with me. And this kind of echoes exactly that sentiment. It is food, it's wine, it's shared with a friend, and it's all the good things in life, that French lifestyle we spoke about. This is what we should be doing more often.
Yeah, just stopping and smelling and tasting, and wine is a sensorial journey.
Well, you've swept me along on a very happy one today. So cheers to that. Cheers to the spirit of Sydney Back and the family who've given us this wonderful Backsberg brand. And to you and Tim and the DGB family as you begin this new 5th generation. And I shall be back regularly. And I think I shall bring my wife along on the next trip. She will do a lot of damage to your stock because she's quite thirsty. But we shall have a great deal of fun dancing in the cellar and remembering.
Ask her to bring her wedding dress and then we'll set the cellar up. I'll take all those barrels away.
Beautiful.
I'll make the space for you.
I shall hold you to that. Alicia, thank you. Winemaker extraordinaire and a very worthy heir to the mantle of custodian of the wines of Backsberg.